Hello, everybody. Hi, how are you? Are you well? And are you ready for the Fool tonight, huh? The Fool. That's what we'll be doing tonight. And we're looking at this journey of the Fool. Hopefully, we'll have Zoe joining us as well. And we're going to be talking about the Fool and a little bit about what that card sort of means and the feelings and things you probably know. But maybe this is all kind of in one place for you to perhaps have a reminder of what it's all about. And quite often people think, oh, well, it just means naivety. It could mean so much more than that. So we're going to be jumping right in. So I hope you've had a wonderful week, and thank you so much for joining me. Do say hello, and don't forget to subscribe and put your comments on here. Follow me on my website, as in if you want to know more about how to read the tarot as a professional, I've got a website that's actually packed with courses for anybody from beginners, intermediate to advanced. So there it is. Any questions, feel free to actually just put your comments on screen, and welcome. So let's hope that everything is working. Anybody listening, just before I begin, is the sound okay? I've got an itchy nose. Sorry about that. Surprise. How's the sound? Okay, good. New microphone. There we are. Getting used to it. So hopefully it's not too loud, and hopefully it's loud enough. Okay. So dogs in the background tonight. It's winter, and I have street rescue animals, so sometimes they make themselves known. They are actually in the house, so hopefully you won't hear mine, but you might hear the neighbourhoods. I heard them 5 minutes before I started and thought, oh crikey, here we go. So let's go into our lovely Fool. Here we are. So there we are. There's the Fool. Isn't he gorgeous? So, starting off at 0 in the Major Arcana tarot cards, what's it all about? Well, if you look at our card, we can see a little bit of a story there. And that's what I would urge you to do, to look at what's in the symbology of the cards and to see what story you feel is being told. And each time you look at that card, you might see something different, because you're in a different space, or the person that you're thinking about is equally in a different space. And that means that it can have a complete change as to the feelings that you are getting. And that's very important. I wouldn't talk about intuition at this point. Your intuition is probably absolutely doing fine. Thank you very much. What's nice is to be able to look at something that helps you feel very grounded in the meanings of your cards. And if you know the meanings, you'll have the confidence to be able to say you're not getting that awful thing which is called card blindness, which many readers used to say to me, oh crikey, I can't, I just went blank. Sure, it happens to us all, but if we know the meanings of the cards and we go with what we're feeling, we will definitely get something for a message for that person or for ourselves. Okay, so the Fool, there he is, flamboyant character. What a figure, standing there and about to step off the cliff edge. And there's a little dog, and there's mountains in the background, and he's dressed in a very, very flamboyant way, which probably tells us that he's expecting things to go well. Okay, and if we look, he is carrying a stick or a staff or a baton. Some even say it's a cane, and that can be part of what comes from the magician. Okay, but it's a knapsack with a stick. And if we look at the knapsack, it's tiny. Now, I'll be zooming into this a little bit for you so you can see a bit closer if you've not got a card of your own to follow along with. So what's the meanings of this card? Well, it's talking about taking a leap of faith, isn't it? And it's also telling us that, you know, we sometimes need to step into the unknown no matter what. So the fool is on the cliff edge and he's looks as if he's going to walk off the edge. And judging by what we can see in the background there, it may be a long way down. Who knows whether he's going to go to his death or whether he's actually going to just say, you know what, where I land is where I want to be because, you know what, I'm in control and this is what I want to do. So symbolically, we're just talking about the fact that this can make us feel that we're going to do it anyway. And if you think of someone like middle-aged sort of character who decides, you know what, to heck with it, I'm going to travel the world or buy a sports car and everyone's telling me, you're mad, what are you doing? You should be saving, you should be this, you should be sensible. Sometimes we actually have foolish notions and they're the best thing we ever do. And we know that for us at this time, in this place, that in this space that we're in, that that's exactly what we need to do. And we've got to ignore all the safety sort of nets and everything. And we just get to take that leap of faith, that new beginning, that unexpected turn, to know that we are going to be able to actually say, I am living. I am living in the moment. It's exciting. So we've got an astrological association with this card, and that is planet Uranus, or Uranus as some would call it. And this is a planet that's full of unpredictability, and it's also about originality. So, you know, if we look, full starts at 0, not 1, 0. So in that number, there is an essence of representing something that's about to take off, but there's no activity yet. Okay, so there's a bit of an emptiness about that number and a waiting that something's going to happen and something's going to be fulfilled. Now, it may go well. Okay, I'm just getting a message saying that YouTube's not working properly. If somebody's watching from YouTube, please do let us know. I'll do a very quick check as in to see if we've got... No, it's not going to tell me, I'm afraid. Never mind. Hopefully, we're going out into different places. I'm multi-stream, so hopefully you are able to catch this, if not real time. Please do say hi, even if you're watching it on a recorded version of later on. Okay, so yeah, this is a card of potential, great things that are going to happen that haven't happened yet, and things that we're hoping to manifest. And it is a little bit like the aces, and I left you with a question a couple of weeks ago, and I've not got anybody putting any comments on as to the answer to that question, but I'm going to answer it for you, and that is, all the aces are also very much new beginnings. So we've got the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. And in those images, we are shown as if we've been given a gift, okay, by the hand that comes from a cloud, showing us there's a new beginning, depending on the suit. So suit of air is about logic, and suit of water, emotion, and we've got the wands, which is fire, which is all about action, and then we've got the pentacle family, which is all about manifestation. Okay, so talking about that, if we look at the Fool's knapsack, it's tiny, but in that we assume that he has got all of those key elements, as in that he has the sword, he has the cup, he has the wand, and he has the pentacle. So he's travelling very, very light. It also shows us that he's not expecting things to go wrong. If you look, he's dressed in a very flamboyant way. He's an eccentric, really. You know, oh, I don't care, it's fine, I'm going to do that. That's why we've got this dress sense going on here, okay? And also, look at the background, yellow. Beautiful, joyous, happy, cheerful colours, reminding us that we are joyful in our approach to things that are new and that we don't know anything about them and we don't actually care, we just want to do it. And that is really what the Fool is all about. But then you would need to look at your surrounding cards to see what influences are going on there, and more about, what's actually happening. So sticking to the card itself, as in just the Fool, okay, that flamboyant dress is, well, his overgarment's really bright and cheerful, isn't it? And so the red and the yellow that are on and the flowers on his tunic suggest that he has passion and enthusiasm, and that he is happy and anxious for the quest ahead. I'm going to grab a little bit of water, folks, sorry, because it's just me talking for a while tonight. So there is something really lovely about the excitement, and the colours themselves are symbolic of cheerfulness, happiness, confidence, passion, and joy. And everything looks really good in his outfit. But hold on a minute. He's got his tights on there, as in his undergarments, maybe they're pants, but they're a lighter colour. And that also reminds us that he's very innocent because of the colour involved. Well, he's wearing a cap, and I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to actually blow this up a little bit for you, so bear with me while I change scenes. This should come up now. I want to just, there we go. I hope you can see that. I've just made it a little bit bigger for you, okay? So can you see that he's actually got something on his head? And they're laurel leaves, a bit like a crown. So he is wearing this as symbolic that he doesn't question the fact that he's going to succeed. Crown of laurel leaves is kind of like, it's a victory here. I'm okay. Everything's going well. So he's already kind of saying, things are off to a good start here. And he's not questioning anything to do with his potential. There's lots of purity, there's lots of innocence, naivety. Look how he's looking up at the sky. And if we also look on his head, there is a red feather, okay, which is like a feather in your cap. That's sort of saying it's symbolic of his first success and the success of being very close to manifesting what he actually wants. So, really lovely image. And if we look how tiny his little knapsack is there, yeah, tiny, 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 just the elements, my thoughts, my feelings, my actions, my intentions, and what I'm going to manifest. And I'm full of the joys of spring and the joy of life. And in one hand, he's carrying a rose. Look how carefully he is actually holding that. I'm going to use a pen, okay? So as thorns on a rose, he's making sure that he's holding it right at the tip so that those thorns are not going to do him any harm. And he is knowledgeable enough to know that that is something he's got to be careful of. Later on, he'll find things out. Now, as the Fool progresses on his journey, the whole point is that that knapsack of his will start to weigh heavily, because as he meets people and as he comes across significant things that are happening, he will find that the adventure of everything that life throws at him will probably start to weigh heavily down on that knapsack. He's also not very well dressed for the weather, because if we go back to our scene where I can show you the whole of the image of the card, as in, and there it is, you can actually see that there are mountains in the background, and those mountains in the background have snow on them. So he's not expecting to meet anything cold or chilling or problematic, which could be a bit naive. And he's just saying, well, hold on a minute, I just want to do what I want to do. Nobody's going to get in my way. And I'm having a wonderful time. So this is for me, and this is what I want to do. But we're almost going, oh gosh, please don't. And he's not going to listen to reason. Maybe that's why the dog is in the card. Okay, I will always read that card as in uniquely each time for the person that I'm reading for. I'll see different things, there will be different feelings, there will be different sort of meanings that come up because of where the cards are actually placed, it's in the position, it's surrounding cards, and it's partner card. As you know, I work in pairs. So if you are interested in learning that method, do go onto my website, tarotwithanne-marie.com, and you will find course after course, beginners, intermediate, advanced. Follow me on YouTube. We'll be doing lots of things here, helping students along and helping qualified and experienced readers who sometimes just need, some impartial advice. Okay, so, and that's what we can all gather, not just me, this whole community. And that's something of a treat for all of us because we're kind of forced out there, as in, get on with it, let's go. And we can doubt ourselves, can't we? You know, and we are dealing with other people. So we might go, gosh, I've got this customer and I've got the Fool. I don't know what it means. Well, again, just try and look at the card itself. Do you feel that this person makes you feel that they're not going to take any notice of anybody? Do you feel that the little dog is perhaps saying, go for it, go on, let's play, let's have fun? Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's actually, I'm your intuition, and you know I'm telling you this is silly, this is dangerous, and I'm your guardian angel, and I'm trying to say, I'm your faithful, faithful friend. Why are you going to jump off that cliff? What's going on here? Do you see? So there's so much there that is in this card that actually this is the beginning. And as we go on to the next cards, each one tells a story about where the Fool started and at what point he's reaching. And so that's the major arcana. So there's an awful lot of things that go on, as in the major arcana. Let's look at the colours. The sky is yellow, and its glorious sun is dazzling down on our lovely Fool, suggesting that there's an abundance and happiness and a cheerfulness, and that he is at the point of feeling young and happy. But he's also not really looking where he's going, as we know, but he's also, look at the angle of his head. There's no way that he's seeing those mountains at the side of him and the snow-capped peaks. So therefore, again, it's a bit of a problem that he's not paying attention to what's going on. And maybe he doesn't want to know. Maybe he's just leap of faith, like we always say. So he expects clear skies, sunshine, the joy in life. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Perhaps he needs to actually start off like that and continue and see where this road leads to for him. I would say that this is a card of freedom and youthfulness, naivety, and that we are freeing ourselves of anything that's limiting our beliefs. And we don't want anything to control us. We just want to actually enjoy life and actually put our demands of society and what it predicts for us and the traditions of that to one side. So the Fool's a really lovely card. If we look, he looks as if he's in mid-stride. So one foot's kind of in the air and one foot's on the floor, suggesting that he's neither grounded nor stable. And yeah, he is in danger of kind of slipping off the edge or just taking a stride and going straight down that cliff. So yeah, it can make us go, gosh, what are you doing? And gasp in horror as to what could actually be happening to our Fool. But maybe he knows this. Maybe he's not scared. Maybe he wants a new start so badly that this is better than where he's been. Maybe it's about him feeling so bold and courageous that he really is just a bit like one of those people that kind of says, well, I'm going for it, I'm courageous, and maybe I'm a bit of a walking hazard. And yeah, I'm a bit of a fool and I don't really care, and I'm going to do it anyway, which is admirable. And sometimes it's really nice to be so free, to be in such a place where you can actually connect with something like that. So I always read upright positions because I use pairs, so there is absolutely no need for reverse cards with the method that I actually use. Okay, I think, bear with me, I had a little, okay, that might be Zoe trying to come in. Let me see. Zoe, if you're there, let's see. Okay, bear with me, folks. I think Zoe's trying to join us, but okay, we haven't quite got that. So if you want to try again, sorry, heard it, but I'm not able to let you in at the current time. Please try again, it'd be lovely. Okay, so yeah. So the Fool's got so much going for it, and yes, it is a positive card. Aha, here she is. 1 second. Let's see. Hi, Zoe. Hi. I'm going to be letting you in here. Okay. So, let us change scenes and welcome Zoe. 1 second. Hi, Zoe. Hi. Oh, hi. We should have you now. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, right, let me make sure that Zoe's microphone is okay. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks to you.
Good. How is your day?
A lot. I've been cleaning for party tomorrow.
Oh, bless you, bless you. So, we're doing the Fool. I don't know if you were able to sort of see while you were getting ready to join us. As in, we did it last time. We were together, Zoe, and we were talking about taking a leap of faith and what the colours might have meant. And I think we even talked about the dog. And you were able to give the lovely Shay a little reading about that. Yes. Yay! So, has any questions come up about this card for you, Zoe?
Not so many questions. Only like why he hold a flower in that kind of way.
Okay.
Mostly.
Okay, I was talking about that. Okay, perhaps while you were trying to join us. Okay, so really, what that's kind of about, Zoe, is the it's supposed to be a rose. Okay.
Yes.
And in that, what we are seeing is, bear with me, I'm trying to move my copy around here. Yeah, in that actual hand, and it's the left hand that's holding it, which is now bear with me, the left hand is holding that white rose and it's representing the subconscious. Okay, so that's supposed to be the subconscious and the feminine side, but it's white, and so white is always purity and innocence. And so, like the Fool, it's kind of saying, well, my belief in the world is everybody's good, everybody's wonderful, but it's a rose. Okay? So if you look, and I blew it up earlier, I'm not able to really do that with, and bring you on as well. But if we go, he's holding it at the tip. And that's significant that he doesn't go, ouch, with the thorns.
Yeah.
Okay, now the thorns represent the troubles and the difficulties and the hurts that the world and its people and things that happen to us start to affect us. Yeah, so he's aware, so he's not so foolish, he's not so naive. He's saying, oh, everybody's pure, but I'm aware that I may get hurt here. Yeah, because what looks beautiful, ouch, that could really, really do something. So there's symbology there. So sometimes when you read for somebody, you might go and say all the positive things, oh, it's this, it's this, it's this, because that's what you're getting, because you're feeling that from the person, or you're feeling that from the reading, however it works for you. Another day you might go, oh gosh, I think that, you're being a bit naive here. I think that, there's loads of problems. Look at those mountains. What's wrong with you? Why are you dressed for a picnic? You know? Where's your woolly hat? Are you serious? It's cold out there. And also, the snow is, yes, it's purity, but it's a coldness. And the world can be cold, And the mountains in tarot always represent challenges. Always a challenge, yeah? And the snow that's there is representing a form of coldness or iciness from a lack of support. And that could be universal, or depends what your other card is. If you've got another card, you might get the answer by going, gosh, that plus that tell me that's exactly what that is. But we're not doing that tonight. We're just looking at the Fool, keeping it simple. So, yes, great question. And I also think, the Fool, to me, I'm my sort of era of growing up was the 80s, and it was the new romantics and the punk scene, and quite a lot of the guys used to wear very flamboyant, wonderful sort of tunics and outfits. So Fool for me is somebody that's very creative, because that kind of music scene, which that outfit reminds me of, connects to me of the new romantic scene. Steve Strange, Duran Duran, all these wonderful, larger than life, creative, musical people, but they were also very, very fashionable. So it's always very happy, as in when I feel that and I connect to that. And also, and people, probably go, well, I think there was very much a case of the men looked very much as if they wore a lot of makeup, they were very theatrical. And so I think that there's no real sort of gender to this card of the person. I think that we're very much in touch, whether we're masculine or feminine or whatever we are, we're very much in touch with masculine sort of drive to want to take action, and our intuitive side to be creative and charming, and be a poet or go off and be a pop star or whatever it is, and follow a fashion. So beautiful, beautiful sort of card, and beautiful memories for me, but I will always see something different. But that's just a feeling for me with that card. But then, of course, where it comes up in the reading, it could be very different. So, what about the colours? In this particular deck, which is the Radiant Rider-Waite, very similar to the traditional, just a slight play on maybe the font at the bottom of the cards, and maybe the colouring is a little weaker than the traditional, but the colours are the same. And I think that's really important, that we all kind of read from a traditional deck, because the colours do mean something, And I, not just when we are learning the tarot, we are learning to sort of connect to our feelings and our intuition. And so the colours play a big part in that. So if you look at red, for example, that's in his sleeves, what would that make you feel? It doesn't have to be a meaning. It's like a feeling. When you see red on this person in this card, what's the first thing that comes into your sort of mind, or you feel?
It depends. Sometimes red means anger for me, and sometimes red is for love. So it depends on the background also.
Yeah, yeah. So if you were thinking, gosh, I need something because I want to actually have, shall we say, a key point for myself, then when we've got colours, I think it's kind of nice to actually go, right, okay, so red could be stop, red could be passion, red could be, blood, it could
Yeah.
be nice lipstick, it doesn't matter. And people might go, gosh, what is she on about? Well, nice lipstick. Don't we all love something that makes us feel wonderful? You know, um, stop, red traffic light, red for danger, hospital sign, or, in corporate worlds, red actually is, I'm powerful, I'm strong. And also red is our base chakra. It's our powerhouse. And if ever I am feeling a little bit sort of, I need a bit of confidence, I'll always wear red. And I will always suggest to anybody that if you think that something may overwhelm you, by having some red, connect to your base chakra, because that's we're like a rocket. And so that's our fuel at the bottom. Yeah. So red, definitely. What about the little dog? I mean, why might he be there? What do we feel about him? Do we feel that he's there as a friend, or do we feel that he's a playmate and he may even have got in the way of the fool and led the fool to almost fall off the cliff? Is it the dog's fault, or is the dog trying to stop him? How would you look at that?
I think it's a friend or playmate because the dog seems to be happy.
Yeah, yeah.
Because my dog reacts like that when he's happy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so he does appear to be happy, doesn't he? And so there's something there that I would actually say he is probably his best friend, and he's traveling with him. And I think maybe just the actual sort of the stand of the dog, it almost feels as if his paw's going, careful, careful now, almost. And we don't know if the fool's going to keep going. We all assume,
No.
oh, take a leap of faith. He might just go, I just wanted to see the danger at the side of the cliff. I'm not going anywhere. This is as far as I go. But maybe just standing here knowing what's down there, because we didn't see what happened before that. There is a very interesting deck that I haven't managed to get my hands on, which is before tarot. So there is a deck that's been created that some artist has shown us what happens just before this. So I'd love to get my hands on that deck. Like, what if, because we're being shown this. What if the story in that before card is the dog and him were playing and he went, we'll just go to the edge, no further. That might be in that card. So I would love it. If anyone's got that deck, please do let me know where you got hold of it, because I think it's a fabulous concept and really interesting. Okay, so I don't know if you heard me with the knapsack. I was saying that he's traveling light with that knapsack, and so he's got the elements of the sword and the cup and the wand and the pentacle in his knapsack. But as he keeps going in his journey, he's going to meet people, and that bag is going to start to get heavy, because when we meet people and we do things, we start to take on their load as well as ours, and we're affected by them. So we won't be travelling light, but he's not worried about that. He might say, oh gosh, I've done this before, I'll do it again. So, anything in there that you feel you'd like to ask Zoe that kind of makes you go, I'm confused?
Maybe about the symbols of his clothes, if that means anything. The yellow on the blue.
The actual tunic itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's really quite symbolic of the fact that he's quite frivolous. Okay, and that overgarment and the flowers, the red and yellow in this, and that's why I like everybody to have the same deck, because different decks, just when you're starting, so that we can all see the same thing, and then you can use whatever you like, any deck, that's fine. But it's a cheerfulness. The red is like enthusiasm and passion, and the yellow is well, it's kind of like cheerfulness and sweet naivety. So the roses, it again, it's something, they're flowers. So again, it's just symbolic of that. That again, the colours, cheerful, confident. That is what that, the yellow being cheerful and the red being confident, and it suggests that he's passionate and enthusiastic. He's not unhappy, because you can almost see the flow in the sleeves. It just looks divine and elegant, doesn't it? As if it's flowing. As I said, so reminds me of wonderful new romantics. But yeah, this is kind of where this is going. So our fool is by the actual symbolic sort of colours, and zero being we've got no knowledge, we're right at the beginning, and we'll probably come back to this point again and again and again in our lives for something. And as we said, when we're starting something new, learning to drive, you've never driven a car, you're going to feel like this. Starting a course, you're going to feel like this. Starting a new job, you're going to feel like this. Experiencing a new relationship with a friend, or with a boss, or a romantic kind, you're going to feel like that. As in, we know nothing. And sometimes that's really nice, because there's no preconception. We're just going with the flow, as in, and somebody might say, "Oh, I want to warn you about them," and it's like, "No, I don't want to know. I'll find out myself, thanks." "Oh, but you really need a warning." No, 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 no. I'll take my chances. That's the kind of card, yeah. And also, it does mean sometimes, when somebody's been a bit foolish, it can mean that, but it depends where, and it depends what the other cards are. But it's a nice card. It's about new beginnings. And those new beginnings are taking us in a direction of saying, it will all be fine. I am not afraid to take a risk. It's a bit like, he's setting out the rules, as in to say, look, I'm going to be confident. And you know what? This might not come up again for me. So I'm going for it. Nothing's going to stop me. It's a nice positive card. Some people, this could be their worst nightmare, because they could be very grounded. And you're Virgo, aren't you?
Yes.
So, you're an earth card, an earth element. Our wonderful hermit is Virgo in the major arcana. So yeah, for an earth sign, it might be something that's really difficult. Whether they're Virgo, whether they're Taurus, or whether they're Capricorn, who knows? But this is not attached to one of the zodiac signs. This is a planet, and the planet Uranus. And that's where revolutionary changes, things aren't going to be the same as they were. We're shaking it up, we're having a great time. And we are doing so in a flamboyant way. And I don't care if I'm seen as an eccentric, or that I'm a bit different, or that people think I'm odd, or I'm standing out from the crowd. It's one of those kind of feelings in the cards, It's also, if it's a reading, what its meaning probably is you're going through a new cycle, and we all experience that no matter what, and it started, and you're going through, a new path, and you should just be going with the flow and not worrying, this is not a time for worries. It's like that's going to happen. So you might as well turn around and enjoy the happy bits and go, hey, as I say, I'll take my chances, thank you. And it appears in a reading when it's like we're free to move ahead, as in, and it can make us feel as if we should just go and, I don't know, be our original self and let go of, I don't know, traditions and attachments and, go with the magic instead of the tried and tested way. And we've got to do that in our aspects of life. But I think that the colours speak for themselves, that they're very cheerful, very, very cheerful, So, yeah, I was also saying he's got a little feather on top of his head, and it's red, and that is like a feather in your cap, which means I'm already doing okay, thank you. I've given myself this little reward to say I'm taking this leap of faith. I'm not there yet, but I've already done that, so that's 1 point to me. It's nice, yeah. And on his head is laurels. When people win, like the the Grand Prix, they normally put that sort of wreath, garland around their neck. Well, he's got that on his head, and that's just like a crown. He's like, I know who I am. I've given myself this little hat, and this is me. I'm doing all right. So there's a good feeling. It's not really a negative card. And as I said, people do read reverse cards, but I think it's incredibly important to sort of point out you do not need to. I've never gone there. Of course, I've looked at them and I know what it's about, but I've never read with reverse cards because there's no reason to with the system that I use of pairs. So, I hope that helps people know there's many different ways to do things. Yeah. So, anything there that you would like to sort of ask, do you think it's an exciting card or do you think it's a card of, gosh, I bet he's feeling nervous? How do you feel?
I feel it's an exciting card.
Yeah. Good. So, that's part of your psychic sort of intuition. When you look at that card, you'll get that vibe. But there'll be a time when you go, gosh, I normally get that, and today I didn't. What's up? No, that's your intuition telling you to go deeper, and you felt something. So maybe you look at this and you read for somebody, and it just speaks to you that you're feeling that they're nervous, or you're feeling that you need to warn them, don't do this. If that comes out, it's not, oh, I need to warn you, don't do this. It could be said in such a way that it comes, I feel that normally this is a good card, but there's a feeling that I need to just ask you to pay attention a bit closer so that you check that out for yourself, just in case on this occasion it's not that for you. Yeah? Rather than, oh, I'm telling you, don't do it. I really feel it. That's not our we're not there for that. We're not there to say, if I were you. No, not that. Yeah. So, and that's another thing, it's like, on this occasion, I feel I must mention, or I would like to suggest, have you got any questions about that? On the whole, I would normally say this, but this is coming to me and I feel I must share that with you. And then they can make their own mind up because that's what they're supposed to be doing. Yeah? Okay. So, I wonder if there is anything that you would like to ask about the Fool tonight. If it was maybe somebody was kind of saying, can you pull me a card? I'm going to start a new job. And this came up. Let's think of You know, think of somebody who's currently in, I don't know, the media, you know, someone that you think of, and they're kind of going, oh, I'm going in a different direction, perhaps, you know, musically or in their career of acting. Just think of somebody that you like, and if it was them and they were going, gosh, Zoe, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be all right? What would you sort of say?
I think if he get his card, it's gonna be okay. Maybe little tough in the beginning, but in the end, it's gonna be good and a good option for you.
Lovely, absolutely. And it's probably you would kind of want to say to them, well, from the start, looks pretty good. Looks like you're going to gamble. You weighed up. You may be missing a few points, but you're prepared to find out as you grow what lessons may be learned. But looks good, and you're off to a great start. You know, as in, but let me pull another card for you and see what's going to happen next, because that's what we mean by the fool's journey, where he kind of goes from the start to that lovely, joyful sort of energy to kind of say, oh, the freedom of doing this. You know, later on he might go, oh gosh, no, you know what, oof. I was happy in the beginning, but not anymore. You know, and you can get to that point where you actually go, there's something different. Yeah. So definitely ruled by a planet. So we can't put, you know, a zodiac sign on it. And that planet is Uranus. And it's about being eccentric and being confident and taking that leap of faith and innocence and freedom and spontaneity and kind of feeling that you're going to nurture yourself carefully and that there's no guarantees. But you're going to go for it. Why not? It's one of those kind of, which is nice, isn't it? Because I think that there is a form of actually saying you are very much in control at this stage. If everything around you is saying, hey, I think you're being a bit silly, which is why it's called the Fool, yeah? But there you go. And he looks very much like a court jester, you know, as in like the Joker in the pack, you know. But again, that's, you know, there's a story there about that. You know, the person that could always be in front of royalty was the Joker, the Fool, you know, the Jester. And they were allowed to be the ones that picked, you know, up royalty when they had the blues. They needed entertaining. So again, it's a nice, you know, what a privilege. He was able to kind of like go places that others couldn't. You know, the rest of the servants would be seen and not heard. But there was he, they were listening to him, relying on him. And yeah, what does that say? There's all sorts of things that we can actually weave into this about the meanings. But I think that the meaning in this one, there's nothing, we're worried. It's horrific that he might fall off that cliff. That is the only thing. The rest of it is good for you. Hope you'll be okay. Yeah. But it's the other cards that would tell us, because it's like turning the page of a book when you go to the next card to see what happens next. And that's what people don't understand about bringing a story together. They're going, oh, how can I? You know, especially if you've got a difficult card that's coming next. Well, there's a story there. It's where it started, and that's what's going to happen next. Oh, I don't want that. Well, forewarned is forearmed. Or maybe you need that to actually get to that third card or that fourth, fifth position that shows, hey, it's going to work out. But whenever we start something, there's always going to be heaviness that comes in from the accumulation of the outside influences. Okay, right. So, Zoe, we recapped on our lovely Fool tonight. Next week, we'll do the next major card. Okay. I might not do it in order. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. But thank you so much for coming on again. You're doing brilliantly. I know that this is a time where people are tending to watch this live afterwards, which is absolutely fine. And it's very new, so we're very, very small at the moment because I've been away for a long time, as in while not doing lives. I still did YouTube, but not live 3 years. So people are just kind of getting used to it, and we've changed direction to say just the tuition, which I always did before, but just the tuition. So it's wonderful to have you. Lots and lots of praise came in for you for your reading with Shay. And Victor was really impressed. Thank you. Big thumbs up. We've got 3 thumbs up for you and only a couple of people watching. So thank you very much, everybody. And hopefully we'll see you next time, next week, if possible. If not, Zoe, whenever you can. It's always a pleasure. All right, my
I
darling.
will pay on Friday, so
Yeah, and anyone watching, if you do want to come on and you're like Zoe and you would like to actually learn a little bit, as in working just by talking and chatting about the cards like we do, it's no big deal. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's always exploring. But what I can do is help you kind of feel that you are gathering and exploring something that you can keep and is worthwhile for you to be able to read the cards going forwards, as in, and give you that support. Okay, so it's all useful to all of us. Okay, so if you do want to learn about tarot, please go on to my website, tarotwithemarie.com, where you will find the courses there for Tarot Mastery, my signature course, which is the method that I use and the spread that I use. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you next week. Please subscribe, ring the bell, and join us. And you're welcome to ask Zoe a question or come and help Zoe and come and help me while we all talk about what card we've got on the screen that night. Yeah? So all the very best to you, Zoe. Have a wonderful week and see you next Friday at 5 o'clock, everybody. And for now, we're going to play you out with our little remind you, please, to subscribe. And then this will be it.